If you want to understand advanced everyday English without translating in your head, you're in the right place. Before we start, take 1 second to tap like, subscribe, and leave a comment with your country and how many minutes you're going to practice today. Even if it's just 10 minutes, make it count. Put on your headphones, sit comfortably, and let your shoulders drop. You don't need perfect grammar right now. You need rhythm, clarity, and confidence. Let's warm up with the mindset first. I'm not here to impress anyone. I'm here to communicate. I can sound natural without sounding perfect. I can speak clearly, even when I'm tired. I can keep going, even when I hesitate. Good. Now breathe in, breathe out, and let's move into a real morning. The kind that actually happens. The alarm goes off. And for a second, I just stare at the ceiling like my brain is buffering. I reach over, silence it, and immediately regret it because the bed feels like it has gravity. I check the time and my stomach drops a little. I'm not late. But I'm not early either. That awkward middle zone where you don't have time to scroll, but you also don't have time to move slowly. I sit up and say, quietly, all right, let's not make this dramatic. I swing my feet onto the floor, and the cold air hits my skin. That wakes me up more than coffee ever could. I rub my eyes and try to be honest with myself. I'm tired. But I'm fine. I don't need motivation. I need momentum. In the bathroom mirror, I look half awake, half functioning. I splash water on my face and think, I can either complain all morning, or I can just get on with it. I brush my teeth, and while I'm doing it, my mind starts listing everything I need to do today. Emails, a meeting, a deadline that's been quietly stalking me all week. And somewhere in the middle, I need to eat something and pretend I'm a responsible adult. My phone buzzes. A message from my friend, Maya. Are we still grabbing coffee before work? I stare at it for a second. My first instinct is to say no, because my schedule feels tight and my energy feels limited. But then I remember something. When I skip the small good things, my whole day turns into one long task. I type back. Yes, I'm moving a little slow, but I'll be there. Give me 15. It's so for dub. Give me 15. Simple, real, useful. Try saying it out loud. Give me 15. Not I will arrive in 15 minutes. Nobody talks like that in real life. I throw on something clean enough to look intentional and comfortable enough to survive the day. I'm not dressing to impress. I'm dressing to function. I grab my bag, check for my keys, and do that little pocket pat like I'm in an action movie. Phone, wallet, keys. Good. In the kitchen, I open the fridge and just stand there for a moment. Like the answer to my life is going to appear on the second shelf. I'm not hungry, but I know I should eat something. I grab a banana and tell myself, this counts. It's not a perfect breakfast, but it's better than nothing. And that's a lesson that applies to language practice too. Better than nothing is still progress. Outside, the air is cool and slightly damp, like it rained earlier but didn't fully commit. The street is busy in that quiet morning way. People walking fast, not making eye contact, holding coffee like it's medicine. Cars rolling by, headlights still on. The city slowly waking up. As I walk, I hear my thoughts getting louder. What if today is messy? What if I mess up in that meeting? What if I forget what I'm trying to say? Then I cut myself off. Not harshly, just firmly. I'm not going to start my day by bullying myself. I say, I'll handle it when I get there. That's a powerful phrase. Calm. Practical. I'll handle it when I get there. The coffee shop is already crowded. Not chaotic, but full. A steady hum of voices. Espresso machines. And the sound of people tapping their phones. I spot Maya near the window. She's holding her cup with both hands, like she's warming her soul. She looks up and smiles. You made it. This? Go video. Barely. I say. And drop into the chair. I was moving like a sloth this morning. ADS'd. Maya laughs. Same. I had to talk myself into getting dressed. End quote. I know that feeling. I say. I wasn't exactly in the mood. But I'm here. As now. Not in the mood. Another phrase you'll use forever. It doesn't mean you're angry. It just means you don't feel like doing something. And you're being honest about it. Maya leans in a little. Okay. Real question. Are you actually ready for today? I take a sip of coffee and think. The taste is strong. Slightly bitter. And exactly what I need. Ready? I repeat. No. But I'm prepared enough. And honestly, that's all I can promise. It stayed AK. Prepared enough. That's real adult English. Not dramatic. Not fake confident. Just steady. Maya nods like she understands. Fair. I've got that meeting with the new team. And I'm trying not to overthink it. Don't overthink it. I say automatically. Then pause. Actually. Let me rephrase. It's normal to think about it. Just don't spiral. It's no comsov. That's the nuance. Overthink is common. But spiral is more advanced. Spiral means your thoughts start looping and getting worse. It's exactly what happens when you imagine 10 different problems before anything has even happened. Maya exhales. I needed to hear that. Lost this Haida. We sit for a moment. Watching people come and go. A couple near the counter looks like they're mid-argument. But they're keeping their voices low. A student is typing fast. Wearing headphones. Locked into their own world. A barista calls out a name. Slightly mispronounces it. And the customer doesn't correct them. Everyone is just trying to get through the morning. Maya checks her phone. We should head out soon. Dotting. Yeah. I say. And I don't rush to stand up. I take one more sip. Like I'm sealing in the calm before the day starts. Let's not sprint into stress. It's not ever-effed. Maya grins. You always say things like that. I dest. I'm trying to be the calm version of myself. I say. The version that doesn't panic when the inbox looks scary. Du ik stilbast. We throw our cups away. Step outside. And the street noise hits us again. Maya walks beside me. And I notice something simple but important. Talking like this. Casually. In the morning. Is exactly what fluent speaking looks like. It's not fancy vocabulary. It's timing. It's tone. It's choosing the right level of honesty. As we approach the crosswalk, Maya says, by the way, if you want, I can cover the first part of the meeting. You can jump in when you're ready. In demand. I look at her. Genuinely grateful. That would help a lot. I say, thank you. I'll back you up when it's my turn. End quote. Back you up. Another phrase that's real in teams. It means support. Defend. Help someone feel secure. The light changes. And we cross. I feel the day starting. But I don't feel crushed by it. Not yet. I adjust my bag on my shoulder and think. Okay. One step at a time. One conversation at a time. One clear sentence at a time. And if you're listening right now, here's the deal. You don't need to speak fast to sound fluent. You need to speak clearly and naturally. Stay with me. Keep listening. Repeat the lines that feel useful. And in the comments, tell me one phrase you want to steal from this morning. Give me 15. I'll handle it when I get there. I'm not in the mood. Or don't spiral. Pick one and use it today. We reach the office building, and the lobby has that familiar mix of polished floors and quiet tension. People are smiling, but it's the kind of smile you wear when you're switching into work mode. I nod at the security guard, tap my badge, and the gate clicks open. The elevator is already half full. A man in a suit glances at my coffee cup and says, "Running on caffeine today?" I give a small laugh. Caffeine and optimism. We'll see which one lasts longer. It's sad. He chuckles like he's heard that before. Which tells me it's the right kind of joke. Light. Safe. Human. The elevator climbs. And everyone stares at the numbers like they're watching a suspense movie. When the doors open, I step out and walk toward my desk. The office is awake, but not fully loud yet. Keyboards tapping. A few quiet conversations. The smell of printer paper and fresh coffee. I drop my bag, sit down, and wake up my laptop. The screen lights up and immediately hits me with emails. Too many. My brain tries to protest. I don't let it. I look at the inbox and say, okay, one thing at a time. I don't need to conquer my whole day in the first minute. I just need to start. Maya passes by my desk and tilts her head. You good? I nod. I'm fine. Just calibrating. Very prives. Calibrating. That word is useful because it sounds professional. But it still feels natural. It means adjusting. Getting aligned. Finding your rhythm. She lowers her voice a little. Heads up. The meeting got moved 10 minutes earlier. I tan wid. I blink. Of course it did. End quote. Maya smiles. Sympathetic. I know. But we can make it work. There's C. I'll rearrange a couple things. I say. Not ideal. But manageable. Doin'. Not ideal. But manageable. That's advanced calm. It doesn't pretend everything is great. It also doesn't panic. I open my notes for the meeting and skim the agenda. My mind is trying to race ahead. So I bring it back to the page. Then I hear a familiar voice behind me. Morning. My manager, Daniel, says, quick question when you have a second. End quote. A quick question. It's never a quick question. It's always a question with a shadow behind it. I turn in my chair. Sure. What's up? Daniel leans on the edge of my desk. Casual, but focused. Can you jump on the client call later? They want an update on the timeline. Intender. I keep my face neutral. Inside. I'm doing math. My calendar is already tight. But I also know this call matters. I say carefully, what time is it scheduled? 2:30, he says. They're a bit anxious. So we want to sound confident. Don't close have rare double starch. Anxious clients. That means we need clarity, not fluff. I'll join, I say. But I want to make sure we're aligned before the call. Can we sync for 5 minutes after the meeting? Daniel nods. Perfect. Appreciate it. Back day. Doing times and stirred. Aligned. Sync. These are the quiet work words native speakers use all the time. They're not fancy. They're just efficient. As Daniel walks away, I exhale slowly. This is the moment where my day could turn into stress. Or it could turn into structure. I choose structure. I open my to-do list and rewrite it in a way that makes it feel possible. I don't write finish everything. I write prep meeting notes, send 2 emails, draft client update, review timeline, clear actions, No drama. At the meeting room, people trickle in with laptops and water bottles. Some look energized. Some look like they're still mentally in bed. The meeting starts with small talk, then slides into business. Daniel begins. All right, let's get started. We're here to review progress, flag any risks, and confirm next steps. 8 he dear says. Flag any risks. Confirm next steps. These phrases show up everywhere. Maya gives me a quick glance like, ready? I nod slightly. I'm not thrilled, but I'm steady. A colleague named Priya speaks first. Overall, we're on track. We've hit the major milestones for this week. The only potential concern is dependency on the vendor side. Our inser. Dependency. Vendor side. Already more advanced vocabulary, but still normal workplace language. Daniel looks around. Do we have a mitigation plan? Priya shrugs lightly. We've got options, but we need a decision by end of day. End quote. Decision by end of day. That phrase has weight. It means pressure, but it sounds clean. Daniel turns to me. Can you walk us through the timeline impact? This is my cue. I sit up a little straighter. Sure. If the vendor delivers on Wednesday as promised, we're fine. If it slips to Thursday, we can absorb it without changing the final delivery date. But it will compress our testing window. That increases risk. Rep C. End quote. Compress our testing window. Increases risk. This is C1 territory. Not difficult, but precise. Daniel nods. So the trade-off is speed versus stability. They. Exactly. I say, if we want to protect quality, we either need the vendor to commit, or we need to adjust scope slightly. If you are said in day, adjust scope slightly. That's the polite way to say, we might have to cut something. Maya jumps in smoothly. We can also parallelize part of the work, but we'll need an extra review cycle to avoid rework. 18. Parallelize. Rework. More common than people think. This is how teams talk. Daniel taps his pen. All right. Let's not speculate too much. Priya, can you reach out to the vendor and get a firm confirmation in writing? In writing. That's important. It means email, not a verbal promise. Priya nods. I'll do that right after this. Into Noe. Daniel continues. And if they can't commit, we'll decide by 3. Everyone okay with that? People nod. The meeting moves on. But I notice something. When you speak with calm precision, people trust you. You don't need big emotions. You need clear framing. After the meeting, Maya and I walk back to our desks. You did well, she says. I wasn't sure I sounded confident. I admit, I felt a little tense. It takes style. Maya shrugs. You can feel tense and still sound grounded. That's the skill. Asked. Sound grounded. Another phrase you can use in work and life. It means stable, reasonable, clear. Back at my desk, I pull up the vendor email thread. Priya has already sent a message asking for confirmation. I admire that speed. Then I remember Daniel's request. The client call at 2:30. I start drafting what I want to say. Not word for word, like a robot, just a structure. First, acknowledge their concern. Second, give an honest status. Third, explain the plan. Fourth, reassure them with specifics. That's how you sound fluent in business English. Not with complicated words, but with organized thinking. At noon, I realize I haven't eaten anything beyond that banana. My body sends a signal that is not subtle. I stand up, stretch, and head toward the kitchen area. In the break room, A coworker named Luis is looking into the fridge with the same expression I had earlier. He sees me and says, "Tell me there's something good in here." End quote. I glance inside. Depends on your definition of good. It's C. Luis laughs. My standards are low. It's been that kind of day. It's high day. I grab my lunch container. I get it. Days like this make you crave comfort food. And then perfection. Luis nods. Exactly. Like, I want something warm and unrealistic. Intelto. Warm and unrealistic. That's funny, because it's true. We sit at the small table. Luis takes a bite and sighs. So, how's your day going? I consider my answer. I could say, busy, like everyone else. But I want to be real without oversharing. It's full, I say. Not chaotic. Just dense. A lot of moving parts. In C. Dense. Moving parts. These are advanced, but natural. They help you sound specific. Luis points his fork. Client call later. Yeah, I say. And the client's nervous. So I want to be careful with how I phrase things. End quote. Luis nods like he understands exactly. Say less. But say it clearly. It's 7. I smile. That might be the best advice I've heard all day. Gove grade. Gove grade. We eat for a few minutes in quiet. Not awkward, quiet. Comfortable. Quiet. Then my phone buzzes again. A calendar reminder pops up. Client call prep. End quote. I look at the time and feel my focus sharpen. All right. I say, standing up. Back into it. Went it in first. Luis raises his container like a toast. Go be professional. It's ender. I grin. I'll do my best. If you can't do. As I walk back to my desk. I want you to notice something. 2. This is advanced daily English. Quick jokes. Careful phrasing. Calm honesty. And professional clarity. It's not about sounding like a textbook. It's about sounding like someone who lives in the language. Now. Stay with me. In the next part, we'll prepare for the client call. Handle a few tense moments politely. And keep the tone confident, without overpromising. Back at my desk. I pull up the client's email thread and reread it with fresh eyes. The client isn't angry. They're uncertain. And uncertainty is what makes people ask the same question 3 different ways. I open a new document and type a simple heading. What we know. What we don't. What we're doing next. Then I write bullet points. Not because I'm nervous, but because I'm responsible. Fluent professionals don't rely on memory when stakes are high. They rely on structure. Maya swings by again, holding her laptop. Quick sync? Yeah. I say, pushing my chair back slightly. Give me the highlights. It's no Sev. She sits on the edge of the chair beside my desk, and her tone shifts into serious but not alarming. The client's main fear is that we'll slip without telling them. They want predictability. Vezit is bid re. Got it. I say, so we lead with transparency. It is. Exactly. She says. And we avoid vague language. If you want to. Avoid vague language. That's the key. When you say, we're working on it, people hear. We don't have control. Ain't no. I nod. We can say, here's the current status. Here's the risk. And here's the decision point. Grain 79. Maya smiles. That's the tone. And Ju says. I glance at my calendar. Can you stay on for the first 5 minutes of the call? Just in case. 01. Of course. She says. I've got you. Do thrace. I take a breath after she leaves, and look at my own notes again. I rehearse the opening in my head. Not word for word, but the shape of it. Thanks for making time today. I want to give you a clear update, including what's on track, what's at risk, and what we're doing to protect the timeline. Answer. Clear, calm, no overpromising, and if they push, I'll stay steady. At 2:25. The meeting link pops up. I check my audio, adjust my posture, and do something small but important. I relax my jaw. People can hear tension. It leaks into your voice even if your words are perfect. The call starts. The client, Jenna, is already there. Her camera is off. That tells me she's either busy, uncomfortable, or multitasking. I assume nothing. I stay polite. Hi, Jenna, I say. Thanks for joining. How are you doing today? There's a brief pause. Then her voice comes through. Hey, I'm okay. I've got a lot going on. It's a lovely 7th. I hear you, I say. And I mean it. We'll keep this focused and make sure you leave with a clear picture. It's store. Maya joins, says hello, then stays quiet. Jenna jumps in quickly. So, are we still on track? Because I'm getting questions from my team, and I don't have answers. It's 7 and Worf. That's not aggression. That's pressure. I keep my tone warm. Yes, I say. We're still on track for the final delivery date. Here's the honest update. One dependency on the vendor side is the only moving piece. We've already asked for confirmation in writing. And we have a decision point this afternoon. This, 75 and quote. Jenna exhales audibly. Okay, what does that mean in practice? In practice, I say, it means if the vendor delivers on Wednesday as promised, nothing changes. If they slip, we have 2 options. We can absorb the delay by tightening our internal testing window, or we can adjust scope slightly to protect quality. After sins, I pause just long enough to let it land. Jenna asks, what do you recommend? I don't rush. A rushed answer sounds like guessing. My recommendation, I say, is we protect quality. If the vendor can't commit by 3, we align on a small scope adjustment, so we don't gamble with stability. I'd rather give you a plan you can trust than a promise that might break. End quote. Plan you can trust. Promise that might break. That's adult English. That's leadership language. Jenna is quiet for a second. Then she says, I appreciate that, but my team really wants the full feature set. Dime. I understand. I say, and we want to deliver the full set too. The question is whether we want to prioritize completeness or reliability if we're forced to choose. Ideally, we don't have to choose. That's why we're pushing for a firm vendor commitment. End quote. Thanks for watching. She says, if we do adjust scope, what gets cut? Not cut. I correct gently. Deferred. We'd frame it as a Phase 2 item. That way you still get it. Just not at the cost of launch stability. Do that SIG. Deferred. Phase 2. Launch stability. These phrases reduce emotional heat. They keep the conversation constructive. Jenna's tone softens a bit. Okay. And when will you confirm the vendor situation? By end of day, I say. But I'll try to get you an update sooner. If I hear back before 3, I'll email you immediately. Dumb RTA. She says. Can you put that in an email? My team needs something written. Will others stuffed? Absolutely. I say. I'll send a recap right after this call. Status. Risk. Decision point. And next steps. Really intelligent. Jenna sounds calmer now. Thank you. I don't need perfection. I just need visibility. End quote. Visibility, that's the word. It explains everything. You'll have it, I say. And if anything shifts, you'll hear it from us first. Not through rumors. Asked for. The call ends on a good note. Maya stays for a second, after Jenna leaves. You handled that well, she says quietly. I was careful, I say. I didn't want to sound defensive. It's you. You didn't, she says. You sounded steady, end quote. After the call, I write the recap email while it's fresh. I don't bury the key point. I lead with it. Hi, Jenna. Here's the current status and what we're watching. We remain on track for the delivery date. The only risk is vendor confirmation. We will confirm by end of day, with a decision point at 3 p.m. Then I keep it short and clean. No long paragraphs. No emotional language. Just clarity. When I hit send, I feel that quiet relief you get when you've done the right thing. Not because the day is easy, but because you're meeting it properly. A few minutes later, Priya messages me. Vendor just replied. They can't commit to Wednesday. Earliest is Thursday. Doesn't hear gid a. I stare at the message for a second. No panic. Just focus. This is where a lot of people start spiraling. I don't. I reply, thanks. Can you forward the email to Daniel and me? We'll align on options. AT&TO. Then I stand up and walk to Daniel's desk. I don't send a dramatic message. I don't wait and hope it disappears. I handle it directly. Daniel looks up. What's up? We got vendor confirmation. I say. They can't commit to Wednesday. They're saying Thursday. My os of the Mosidin to say. Daniel's face tightens slightly. Okay. Options? We can compress testing. I say. But risk goes up. Or we defer one non-critical piece to phase 2 and protect stability. A key was he endished. Daniel nods once. Let's pull Maya in. 5 minutes. Decked hand 2. We huddle near a small meeting room. Fast and focused. Maya is already in problem-solving mode. If we defer the reporting add-on, she says, we protect the core experience. Most users won't feel the difference at launch. ISF. Daniel asks me, would the client accept that? I think so, I say. If we frame it properly, we're prioritizing stability. And we commit to a specific follow-up date for the deferred item. Commit to a specific follow-up date. That's the difference between, we'll do it later, and you can trust us. Daniel decides, do it. Let's message the client with a clear plan. ADF. As we split off, I notice something else. Fluency isn't just speaking. It's decision-making language. It's how you sound when things aren't perfect. And if you're listening, I want you to steal one more phrase from this section and actually use it today. Here's the honest update. In practice, it means not cut deferred. Or, I'd rather give you a plan you can trust. Repeat it once out loud. Let it sit in your mouth. That's how it becomes yours. Now, the day isn't over. Next, we'll deliver the update, handle pushback gracefully, and keep our tone professional, even when the pressure rises. We sit down and craft the update carefully, because the wording matters as much as the decision. The goal is to be transparent without sounding shaky, and confident without sounding careless. I open a new email draft and read it out loud as I type, checking the tone. Hi, Jenna. Quick update following our earlier conversation. The vendor has confirmed their earliest delivery is Thursday. To protect launch stability and avoid compressing testing, we recommend deferring the reporting add-on to Phase 2. The core functionality remains on track for the delivery date. We can commit to delivering the deferred item by next Friday. Pending your approval today. I bend. I stop and look at it. Maya points at the last sentence. That pending your approval today is good. It gives urgency without pressure. It's seen. Daniel nods. Add one line that acknowledges their preference for the full set. It's didn't a very ado. So I add it. We know your team prefers the full feature set at launch. This recommendation is specifically to reduce risk and maintain quality. End quote. Then I add the next steps. Clean and practical. If you approve, we'll update the project plan, confirm revised milestones, and share a short Phase 2 timeline by end of day. In Fortist. I hit send. And there's a moment of silence. The kind that happens when you've put a decision into the world and you can't take it back. 5 minutes later. Jenna replies. Thanks for the update. I understand the logic. But this is going to be hard to sell internally. Can we talk? That sentence is polite. But it's loaded. Hard to sell internally means there are stakeholders. There is pressure. There are opinions. Daniel looks at me. Can you take it? I can. I say, better to address it live than through 10 emails. F2S. We jump on a quick call. Jenna's camera is on this time. She looks composed, but her eyes say she's been in back-to-back conversations all day. Hi, Jenna. I say. Thanks for hopping on. What are the main concerns on your side? She gives a small, tired smile. Honestly, it's optics. I promised the reporting piece. If we launch without it, people will say we overpromised. It's sad. I let her finish. Then I respond slowly, with care. I get that. I say. No one wants to walk into a room and look like they missed a commitment. The way we frame it matters. This isn't us failing to deliver. It's us choosing stability for launch and protecting your reputation long-term. Isa. She tilts her head. How does this protect my reputation? Because if we squeeze testing to keep every feature, I say, we increase the chance of defects, and defects are loud. People remember a buggy launch more than they remember a reporting add-on arriving a week later. If we deliver a stable core and clearly announce Phase 2, you look strategic, not careless. Dis. Strategic, not careless. That contrast helps. Jenna exhales. I hear you, but I still need language I can use with my leadership. It's not no. Let's build it together. I say. Here's a draft you can say almost word for word. Vensis to on this 24. I pause for half a beat. Then I give her a clean script. We're launching the core system on schedule with full stability. One non-critical reporting component is being moved to Phase 2 to avoid introducing risk at launch. The Phase 2 delivery date is next Friday. And we'll provide a clear follow-up plan. On 1. Jenna nods slowly. That's actually helpful. It's said in docking. I continue. And if anyone asks, why not do everything now? Your answer can be, because we're prioritizing quality and stability. We're not cutting scope. We're sequencing it. It's not node. Sequencing it. That word makes the choice sound intentional. She looks down at her notes. Okay, if you send me that phrasing in writing, I can use it. AP free to Zelfing. I'll send it right after we hang up. I say. And if it helps, we can also join a short call with your stakeholder to explain the rationale. Sometimes hearing it from the delivery team reduces friction. Very 2%. Reduce friction, that's the reality. It's not personal, it's process. Jenna's shoulders relax a little. Let me try with my leadership first. But yes, keep that option open. Excess. Absolutely. I say. And just to be clear, the core date remains stable. We're not shifting the launch. We're protecting it. No. She nods. All right. Do it. Defer the reporting add-on. But please, don't let the Phase 2 date slip. That's my only ask. There are commonings stalls. That's a fair ask. I say. We'll treat that date as a commitment, and we'll give you visibility along the way. Dapier's a fighter and Rav. After the call, I send the promised language, clean and ready to copy-paste. Then I update the internal tracker, tag the team, and make sure everyone's aligned on the new plan. The rest of the afternoon is a blur of small actions that matter. Updating documentation, reassigning tasks, confirming ownership, making sure the deferred work doesn't vanish into the abyss of later. IDN first day. At around 5, my energy drops. Not dramatically, just a slow fade. Like my brain is dimming the lights. Maya stops by again. You look like you're running out of fuel. Even perditions? I am. I admit. My brain feels like it's been in meetings all day. I think to... She laughs. Because it has. I want to. I shut my laptop halfway. Not to leave yet, but to signal a shift. I need 10 minutes to reset, I say. Otherwise, I'm going to start making dumb mistakes. It's stayed. Maya nods. Go take a walk. I'll cover anything urgent. And care dime. I step outside the building and breathe in the evening air. The light is softer now. The street looks less rushed. People are heading home. And you can almost feel the city exhale. As I walk, my phone buzzes. It's my mom. I answer. Hey, what's up? Her voice is warm. I was just checking in. How was your day? I could say, fine. But I don't want to be vague. It was intense. I say, not in a bad way. Just a lot of problem solving. Just 5 was. My mom hums in that understanding way. Did you eat? I smile. Because of course she asks that. Yes. I did. Don't worry. It's 7 what a doing hum. Good. She says. Make sure you rest too. You can't pour from an empty cup. Action. You can't pour from an empty cup. That phrase is common for a reason. It's true. After we hang up, I stand still for a moment and listen to the street sounds. A scooter passes. Someone laughs nearby. A door shuts. Life keeps moving even when your inbox doesn't. I head back upstairs and finish the last few tasks with a calmer pace. I'm not rushing now. I'm closing loops. That's different. Closing loops means tying up loose ends so they don't chase you into tomorrow. Daniel passes my desk on his way out. Good work today, he says. You kept it steady. I haven't done it. Thanks, I say. I'm glad we landed it. Is go das kling. He nods. Get some rest. Do our shid. And cances. When I finally leave, the sky is darker, and the city lights feel brighter. I put my headphones on. Not for noise, but for comfort. As I walk toward the train station, I think about how fluency shows up in moments like today. It's not only the words, it's the calm. It's the way you respond when someone pushes back. It's the ability to explain trade-offs without sounding defensive. And if you're practicing with me right now, take one line from this section and repeat it once. Clearly, it's optics. I need language I can use. We're not cutting scope. We're sequencing it. Or, let's build it together. Pick the one that feels useful and make it yours. On the train ride home, I finally have a few quiet minutes. The kind of quiet where your body is sitting still, but your mind is still replaying the day in fast forward. I look out the window and watch reflections slide across the glass. People around me are scrolling, listening to music, leaning into exhaustion. I catch myself clenching my jaw again. And I soften it. I'm not in danger. I'm just wired. A notification pops up from a group chat. It's my friends planning the weekend. Brunch Saturday? One message says. Another. I'm down if we keep it chill. I am. Then Maya writes. No work talk. I'm serious. In S44. I smile. Because that's exactly what we all need. I type back. Yes. And I'm holding you to the no work talk rule. As does. Holding you to it. That phrase is friendly. But it's also firm. You can say it to anyone. I'm holding you to it. When I get off the train, the air feels different. Cooler. More open. Like the day is finally letting go of me. I walk home at a steady pace. Not rushing. Not dragging. Just moving. At my apartment, I unlock the door and step inside. The silence is immediate. It's not lonely. It's relief. I drop my bag by the door, kick off my shoes, and stand there for a second, letting my shoulders fall. I say out loud, "Okay, we're home." Asked. I go straight to the kitchen, fill a glass with water, and drink, like my body has been waiting all day. Then I wash my face. That small action draws a line between work and life. It tells my nervous system, you can stop performing now. My phone buzzes again. It's Jenna, the client, sending a short message. Thanks again for today. Your phrasing helped. Leadership is on board. Just climbs. I read it twice. Then I let out a slow breath. Not a victory breath. More like a tension release. I reply. I'm glad it helped. We'll keep you posted as we move forward. To not endame. Keep you posted. Simple, professional, common. Then I put my phone down. Face down. Because I know if I keep staring at it, I'll never fully switch off. I start making dinner. Nothing fancy. Something quick. Something real. I cut vegetables. Hear the knife on the cutting board. And feel my mind slowly settle. Cooking is repetitive in a good way. It pulls you into the present. While the food heats up, I open a window. City sounds drift in. A distant motorbike. A dog barking. Someone talking on the sidewalk. Life outside is continuing without asking me to respond. I eat at the table. Not in front of the laptop. I don't always do this. But tonight I make myself. I take a bite and actually taste it. Then I lean back and think. That was a lot today. But I handled it. I'm not celebrating. I'm acknowledging. That's different. After dinner, I clean up slowly. I don't try to speed run it. I'm not in a hurry anymore. Then I take a shower. And as the water hits my shoulders, I feel the last layer of the day come off. Later, I sit on the couch, and my brain tries to pull me back into work again. Did I send that follow-up? Did I phrase that correctly? What if the Phase 2 date slips? What if something breaks? I catch it, that spiral again. I say, not tonight. There's nuisance, you said. Not in a dramatic way, just a boundary. If you want to sound like a native speaker when you set boundaries, notice how simple the language is. You don't need a long explanation. You can say, not tonight. I'm offline. I'll deal with it tomorrow. I'm tapped out. Tapped out means you have no energy left. It's casual and very common. I pick up a book, read 2 pages, and realize I'm not absorbing anything. My eyes are moving, but my mind is elsewhere. So I put the book down and choose a different kind of rest. I play soft music. stretch on the floor, and let my body unwind. Then I remember something I promised myself: practice English a little every day, even on busy days. Not because I have to, because it keeps me sharp. So I do a quick 5-minute practice out loud. I repeat a few lines from earlier today, the ones that felt powerful. I'd rather give you a plan you can trust than a promise that might break. Is never important to video. We're not cutting scope. We're sequencing it. It's low. I need language I can use. If you have to 8-2, let's keep this focused. It stayed A. I say each line slowly, then at normal speed, then with a calm tone, like I'm actually in that meeting again. This is how you train fluency. Not by memorizing random words, but by practicing real sentences with real emotions behind them. My friend texts me, "You free to talk for a minute?" I pause. I'm tired, but I don't want to ignore them. I reply, "I can talk for 5, but I'm low energy." In their evacuation, low energy, that's natural. That's honest. They respond, same. I just needed a quick check-in. 17219. We talk briefly. Nothing heavy. Then I say, all right. I'm going to head to bed soon. Let's catch up properly this weekend. Do hide is way. Catch up properly. Another useful phrase. It implies a longer, more meaningful conversation later. When the call ends, I check the time and feel my eyes getting heavy. I brush my teeth, turn off the lights, and slide into bed. The room is dark, but my mind is still glowing. It takes a few minutes, but I keep my breathing slow. I let thoughts pass without grabbing them. And right before I fall asleep, I say one last sentence, quietly, like a promise. Tomorrow, I'll start again, calm and clear. There's what, and you can do there. If you're still listening, I want you to do the same. Say one sentence that helps you feel steady. Something simple. Something real. Like, I can handle this. I'm doing my best. One step at a time. Then leave a comment with that sentence. I read them. And they help more people than you think. Now let's continue. Because tomorrow morning, we're going to practice a different kind of advanced conversation, handling awkward social moments, small misunderstandings, and polite corrections without sounding rude. The next morning feels different, not because my life magically changed overnight, but because my mindset is calmer. I wake up and don't reach for my phone immediately. I just lie there for a moment and listen. No notifications. No voices. Just the quiet hum of the world starting up. I sit up slowly and think, today, I'm going to speak with intention. Not to sound smart, just to sound clear. In the kitchen, I make coffee and stare out the window while it brews. The sky looks pale, like it hasn't fully decided what mood it's in. I take the first sip and feel my body shift into awake. It's not energy. It's permission to start. I check my phone and see a message from my friend, Omar. Hey, did you see my message last night? I think I sounded harsh. I didn't mean it like that. End quote. I read it twice. Omar is a good person, but he can be blunt. And bluntness can feel like rudeness, even when it isn't intended. I type back. I saw it. You didn't sound harsh to me. But if you're worried, tell me what you meant. I'm listening. End quote. I'm listening. Simple. Warm. It invites clarity. He replies immediately. I just felt like you were brushing me off. And, so it landed wrong. I take a breath and choose my words carefully. This is advanced daily conversation, repairing a misunderstanding without turning it into a drama. I get why it might have felt that way. I type. I wasn't trying to brush you off. I was genuinely low energy and didn't want to give you a half-hearted response. Can we talk later today when I'm more present? More present. That phrase matters. It means you want to give someone real attention, not distracted attention. Omar responds, yeah, that makes sense. Sorry. I overthought it. Vos in discourage. No worries. I type. We're good. 2-8. We're good. That phrase is extremely common. It closes the loop. It signals peace. I finish my coffee, grab my bag, and head out. Today, I have a different kind of appointment. I'm meeting a friend for lunch. Then stopping by a small local shop to pick up a gift. Simple tasks. But the kind where social awkwardness can happen if you're not careful. At lunch, I meet my friend, Lena. She's already seated and waving like she's been waiting forever. Even though I'm on time. You made it, she says dramatically. I did. I say, and I deserve points for being on time. H's head. She laughs. You do. I'm impressed. It's Stom any Forder. We order. And the conversation flows easily until Lena brings up something sensitive. So, I heard you and Maya had a disagreement at work. Doddsliff. My stomach tightens for a second. Not because it's a huge issue, but because I didn't want it to become gossip. Lena isn't trying to stir trouble, but she's curious. I keep my tone light. Not defensive. We had a different opinion about how to handle a situation. It wasn't personal. Lena leans forward. But was it awkward? It was a little tense in the moment. I admit. But we talked it through. We're fine. It's great difference. Talked it through. That's the mature phrase. It implies communication and resolution. Lena nods. Okay. Good. I hate workplace drama. End quote. Same. I say. I don't have the energy for it. It's still fan of the daters. Then Lena says something that catches me off guard. I think Maya can be kind of controlling. Day. This is one of those moments. Someone says a strong opinion, and you have to respond without escalating, without agreeing too strongly, and without sounding fake. This is one social fluency. I pause. Then I answer with balance. I can see why you might feel that way. I say, she's definitely direct, but she's also dependable. I think her intention is usually good. It's not goe. That sentence does a lot. It acknowledges Lena's view without fully endorsing it. Lena shrugs. Fair. I just don't like people who micromanage. Goes first F. I get it. I say, micromanaging is exhausting, but I try not to label people too quickly. Sometimes it's stress, not personality. It's 5. Label people too quickly. Another advanced, natural phrase. Lena's expression softens. That's true. End quote. We finish lunch, and the mood stays fine. That's the goal. You can disagree gently, keep the relationship intact, and still be honest. After lunch, I walk to the local shop. It's one of those small places with handmade items and a narrow aisle where you always end up doing that awkward sidestep with strangers. I'm browsing when a woman next to me reaches for the same item at the same time. Our hands almost touch, and we both pull back. Oh, sorry, she says. No. You go ahead, I say automatically. Then she says, no, it's okay. You were first. And is due. This is where people can loop politely for 10 seconds. Both refusing. There's a better way. I smile and say, how about we flip a coin? Just kidding. You take it. I'm still deciding. In no. I'm still deciding. That's the exit line. It solves the awkwardness and saves time. She laughs and takes the item. Thank you. Never. No problem. I say. Happens all the time. Makes down. At the counter, the cashier rings up my purchase and says, "Do you want a bag?" I glance at the item. It's small. I don't need a bag. But I also don't want to be awkward. I'm good. I say, "I'll just carry it. I'm good." Another phrase you'll use constantly. The cashier smiles. All right. Your total is $12.50. It's 7 today. I pay. And as I'm putting my card away, I realize the cashier accidentally gave me the wrong change. It's not a lot, but it's not correct. This is a real-life moment where many people feel uncomfortable, especially in a second language. But you can correct someone politely. I lean slightly forward and say, "Sorry. I think there might be a small mistake. I paid with a 20. I have so finos and sover. I think there might be a small mistake." That's polite. It gives them space to fix it without embarrassment. The cashier's eyes widen. Oh, you're right. I'm so sorry. Does't. No worries. I say warmly. It happens. It's a taction. It happens. This phrase is calm and forgiving. She corrects the change and thanks me. I smile and leave. Feeling good not because I won, but because I handled a delicate moment smoothly. On the way home, I get a message from Omar. You free now? I check my energy and my time. I reply. Yeah. I've got about 10 minutes. Want to talk? We call. And Omar starts fast. Okay. I want to clear something up. I wasn't mad. I just felt ignored. It's startly friend. I don't interrupt. I let him finish. Then I respond with one of the most useful advanced phrases in English. Thank you for telling me, whiz. Thank you for telling me. It's calm. It's mature. It turns conflict into collaboration. I really wasn't trying to ignore you. I continue. I was depleted. And I didn't want to respond in a way that felt dismissive. I should have said that more clearly. Is sage to admit. Depleted. Dismissive. These are strong, natural words. Omar sighs. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm sorry I took it personally. Make here, voasted. It's okay. I say. We're human. 80 like this now. We talk for a couple more minutes. And the tension dissolves. Not because someone won, but because both people clarified intentions. If you want to sound fluent in advanced daily conversation, this is what it looks like. It looks like repairing, clarifying, softening, and choosing words that keep the relationship safe. Now, repeat one line out loud. Just once. I get why it might have felt that way. I wasn't trying to brush you off. Thank you for telling me. Or, I think there might be a small mistake. Choose the one you'll actually use. And keep listening. Because next we'll practice another level. Expressing disagreement politely in a group. Handling interruptions. And staying confident when someone challenges your idea. Later that week, I'm in a small group meeting at work. Not a huge presentation. Just a working session with a few people. But sometimes those are the hardest. Because there's less structure and more personalities. We're sitting around a table with laptops open. Daniel is there. Maya is there. And two teammates I don't work with every day. Jordan and Aisha. The topic is simple on paper. How we're going to roll out a new process without slowing everyone down. Daniel starts. All right. The goal today is to agree on an approach. We don't need perfection. We need something workable. Go add. Workable. That word matters. It's realistic. Jordan jumps in quickly. I think we should standardize everything. One template. One flow. No exceptions. AG. Aisha raises her eyebrows. No exceptions? That sounds rigid. And it was government. Jordan shrugs. Rigid is good. It prevents chaos. In quoted. I can already feel the tension. They're both making valid points. But the tone is getting sharp. This is where advanced fluency is not about vocabulary. It's about de-escalation. And it's about disagreeing without attacking. I speak up calmly. Can I offer a middle ground? Daniel nods. Go for it. After and grasped. I keep my voice steady. Standardization is helpful. But if we make it too rigid, people will work around it instead of with it. What if we define a core template that covers 80%, and we allow a small set of approved variations for edge cases? Approved variations. Edge cases. Those phrases are common in professional settings. Jordan leans back. That sounds like a slippery slope. Variations multiply. Diaplined. I don't argue immediately. I acknowledge his concern first. Because that's how you keep someone from digging in. I get that. I say. And you're right. If we don't control it, it can turn messy. That's why I'm suggesting approved variations. Not unlimited freedom. It's dead various now. Jordan is still skeptical. Who decides what's approved? Good question. I say. We can define criteria. If a variation improves clarity, reduces risk, or is required for compliance, it qualifies. Otherwise, it doesn't. End quote. Aisha nods. That's reasonable. My dad. Jordan says, but criteria can be subjective. In present, I keep my tone respectful. Some judgment is unavoidable. The goal isn't to eliminate judgment. It's to make judgment consistent. It's made. Make judgment consistent. That's a strong, natural line. Maya adds. We can also review variations monthly. If something keeps coming up, we fold it into the standard. Manning. Fold it into the standard. That's fluent workplace phrasing. Jordan looks down at his notes. Then back up. Okay. But I still worry we'll end up with 5 versions. I meet him halfway. That's fair. Let's cap it. We allow. Say. 3 variations? Max. And anything beyond that needs a higher level review. Just a great stay. Cap it. Higher level review. Short and clear. Daniel leans forward. I like where this is going. Standardize the core. Allow controlled flexibility. Let's keep moving. It is saved teed. We shift to the rollout plan. And that's where things get a little more challenging. Aisha proposes a phased rollout, starting with a pilot team. Jordan interrupts. That's going to take too long. AG. Aisha's jaw tightens slightly. But she stays composed. A pilot reduces the chance of a messy launch. It's not mainstream too, Jordan says. Or it delays impact. And helpless. This is a classic tension. Speed versus stability. Again. Daniel looks at me. Thoughts? I take a second. I don't want to sound like I'm taking sides. I want to sound like I'm thinking. I think both are true. I say. A pilot adds time up front, but it can save time later by preventing rework. The question is what our tolerance is for disruption. It's scented. Tolerance for disruption. That phrase is advanced and very practical. Jordan starts to speak again, but I hold my ground gently, without being rude. Let me finish one thought. I say, still calm. If we pilot for 2 weeks with one team, we can collect feedback fast and adjust before it scales. That's a controlled delay, not a stall. To a controlled delay, not a stall. That contrast helps. Jordan nods reluctantly. Okay, 2 weeks isn't terrible. Reversation. Aisha relaxes a little. That's all I'm asking for. Just a small trial. End quote. Daniel smiles. Great. 2-week pilot. Then scale if it goes well. Next point. Date with just. After the meeting, I walk back to my desk and notice something. Speaking confidently doesn't mean speaking aggressively. It means speaking with clarity and not backing down just because someone pushes. A little later, I'm in a different conversation. This time, informal. A teammate I barely know, Kevin, stops by my desk. Hey, he says. I heard you're the one who suggested the rollout plan. End quote. I contributed. I say, yeah, it's the other way. Kevin hesitates. Then says, honestly, I don't think it'll work. One way. That's blunt. My first impulse is defensiveness. I don't follow that impulse. I keep my face neutral. Okay, tell me more. What part concerns you? Tell me more. That phrase is powerful. It turns critique into information. Kevin says, people won't follow it. They'll ignore it, like they ignore everything else. It is right? I nod slowly. That's a real risk. Compliance depends on whether people see the value. Masso. Kevin crosses his arms. Exactly. They'll see it as extra work. Dill says. I don't argue. I reframe. If it feels like extra work, it will fail. I say. So the design has to reduce friction. Can I ask? What would make you personally use it? Kevin looks surprised. He wasn't expecting to be invited in. He thinks for a second. If it saved me time, if it cut the back and forth, great my crances. Perfect. I say, that's exactly the metric we should optimize for. If we can prove it reduces back and forth. Adoption goes up. Asked. Adoption goes up. Another common workplace line. Kevin says, maybe, but you'll need buy-in from managers. Way. You're right, I say. Without buy-in, it becomes optional. And optional becomes ignored. Dan the phase. Kevin half smiles. That's true. End quote. I add, if you're willing, we could include you in the pilot. Your feedback would be valuable. Especially if you're skeptical. Skeptical feedback is usually the most useful. End quote. Skeptical feedback. That's a respectful way to say, I want someone who will challenge this. Kevin looks at me, then nods. All right. I'm in. But I'm not going to sugarcoat it. ATOTC. I don't want you to. I say, be honest. Just be specific. It's CNS AES. Be honest. Be specific. That's a great rule for fluency. 2. That evening, I meet a friend for a casual hangout. We're sitting outside, and the conversation drifts into opinions about life, work, and choices. My friend says, I think you take work too seriously. Its seekers has say. That could sting if I take it the wrong way. I choose curiosity instead of defensiveness. Maybe. I say, what makes you say that? They reply, you're always planning, always thinking, always managing something. AT9. I nod. That's fair. I do get stuck in that mode. Is no ust. Then I add, gently. But I'm working on balance. I don't want my whole personality to be responsible. It's no stam. They laugh. Good. Because you're fun when you relax. It is ready face. I smile. Noted. It's Telby and Izo. This is advanced conversation too. Accepting feedback without collapsing, without fighting, without pretending. If you want to practice the key phrases from this section, repeat just one out loud. Can I offer a middle ground? I get that. And you're right. Let me finish one thought. Tell me more. What part concerns you? Or, that's fair. Choose one that fits your life. And keep listening. Because next we'll practice what to say when you make a mistake, how to apologize without over-apologizing, and how to recover smoothly when you lose your words mid-sentence. The next day, I walk into the office feeling decent, not unstoppable, not drained, just steady. The kind of steady you can build a day on. I sit down, open my laptop, and start working through a few small tasks when Daniel messages me. Can you send the updated timeline to the broader group? Include the Phase 2 date. I am presented. Sure, I reply. I'll send it in 10. They revel to stay. I open the timeline doc, copy the key dates. I'm moving a little too fast. Trying to be efficient. I type, skim, and hit send. 2 minutes later, my stomach drops. I wrote the wrong Phase 2 date. Not wildly wrong, but wrong enough to confuse people. I stare at the sent email like it's going to unsend itself through shame. It doesn't. This is a real moment. Not dramatic, but real. And how you handle it matters more than the mistake itself. My first impulse is to panic. My second impulse is to hide it and hope no one notices. That second impulse is the one that causes bigger problems. I don't follow it. I take a breath and say out loud, quietly, okay, own it. Fix it. Just for pins. I draft a correction immediately. Short. Clear. No excuses. Quick correction. The Phase 2 target date is Friday the 17th, not Friday the 10th. Sorry for the confusion. Please use the 17th as the reference date going forward. And RTZ. I read it once. It's clean. It doesn't overshare. It doesn't spiral into self-blame. It simply fixes the issue. I hit send. Then I messaged Daniel directly. I sent the broader update. But I caught an incorrect Phase 2 date right after. I sent a correction. All set now. There's no there say. Daniel replies. Thanks for flagging. Happens. Appreciate the quick fix. End quote. Happens. That one word is a gift. It reminds me that I'm not the only person who has ever made a small mistake at work. Maya walks by, sees my face, and pauses. Everything okay? I sent the wrong date. I admit. Fixed it. But still. Annoying. Donell? Maya nods. Better to correct it fast than pretend it didn't happen. You handled it like an adult. Indifferent. Like an adult. That's not fancy praise. It's the best kind. Now, if you want to sound fluent when you make a mistake, notice the strategy. You don't say, I'm so sorry. I'm the worst. Please forgive me. That puts emotional labor on other people. You say, quick correction. My mistake. Thanks for your patience. Here's the updated information. Calm and practical. A little later, I'm in another meeting. And this time the mistake is verbal. We're discussing the rollout again. And I'm explaining a point about adoption. I start speaking, and my sentence collapses halfway through. What we want to avoid is, when people, basically, they don't. My mind blanks. I can feel everyone waiting. It's not hostile, but the silence is loud. This is where many learners panic and either stop completely or start talking faster to fill space. Speed won't help. Clarity will. I pause. I let myself pause. I don't apologize for the pause, like it's a crime. Then I say, let me say that more clearly. 18 says. That line is magic. It buys you time and shows confidence. What we want to avoid. I continue. Slower. Is passive resistance. People won't complain. They'll just ignore the process. So, our job is to make the process genuinely useful. In sternness. Passive resistance. Ignore the process. Genuinely useful. The idea lands. Daniel nods. Aisha nods. Jordan writes something down. No one cares that I paused. They care that I finished clearly. After the meeting, Jordan catches me in the hallway. By the way, good point about passive resistance. Don't have does. End quote. Thanks. I say. I almost lost my words there. I can't elude. Jordan shrugs. Happens to everyone. Inchers. Again. Happens. The world isn't as harsh as your inner critic makes it. Later that afternoon, a different situation happens. I accidentally interrupt Aisha in a discussion. Not aggressively. Just a little too eager. As soon as I hear my own voice overlap hers, I realize what I did. I stop mid-sentence. That's important. I don't bulldoze through. Sorry. Aisha. I say. Go ahead. I jumped in too quickly. It is. Aisha smiles slightly. No worries. I was just saying the same thing. In Esfer. This is another key. A clean apology plus a simple repair move. Give the floor back. If you want native-like politeness, keep your apologies short and specific. I cut you off. It is not readers say. That came out wrong. May juice. Let me rephrase. End quote. My bad. Go ahead. End quote. You don't need a speech. You need respect. Near the end of the day, I'm talking with Kevin, the skeptical teammate who joined the pilot. He's standing at my desk with a half smile like he has news. All right, he says. I tested your template. Eat into a. I brace myself. And? He points at the screen. It's not terrible. End quote. I laugh. High praise. Dr. Ag. Kevin nods. It actually did reduce some back and forth, but one section is confusing. End quote. Good. I say. Tell me which one. Versins to a verses. He explains. And as he talks, I make notes. Then I realize I misunderstood something he said. In the past, I might pretend I understood to avoid looking confused. That's a mistake. Fluency includes asking for clarity. Wait. I say gently, just to make sure I'm following. Do you mean the labels are unclear? Or, the steps are unclear? Kevin pauses. The steps. The labels are fine. Don Miles. Got it. I say, thanks for clarifying. Is nine. Just to make sure I'm following. That phrase is incredibly useful when you want clarity without sounding lost. Then I propose a solution, but I choose my tone carefully. I don't want to sound like I'm dismissing his feedback. What if we add a one-line example there? I say. Not a long explanation. Just a quick sample so people can copy the format. Differently was. Kevin nods. Yeah, that would help. Ask us one round. I smile. Okay. Cool. I'll adjust it and send you the updated version for a quick sanity check. was. Sanity check. Very common at work. It means a quick review to confirm something makes sense. As I'm leaving the office, I think about the skill I practiced today. Not perfect speaking. Recovery. Recovery looks like this. Quick correction. DS7 data. Let me rephrase. 1 Peter is that Tia. Let me say that more clearly. East. Dozen 9. Sorry. Go ahead. Is no 5 with a nose. Just to make sure I'm following. These are not advanced vocabulary words. They're advanced control phrases. They keep you calm, respectful, and fluent under pressure. On the way home, I stop by a small grocery store. At the checkout, the cashier asks, "Do you want a receipt?" I'm tired, and I answer automatically, "No, I don't need, yes. Actually, can I get it?" I catch myself. That tiny stumble, not a big deal, but it's a moment. I smile lightly. Sorry. I changed my mind. Yes. Please. If you ever was a vested ridge. The cashier hands it to me. No problem. It's no action stayed by. And that's it. The world doesn't end. People aren't judging you. They're living. If you're practicing with me, pick one recovery phrase right now and say it out loud. Clearly. One time. Let me rephrase. Quick correction. Or, just to make sure I'm following. Then, if you want, comment the one you chose. Not because it helps the algorithm, but because it helps you commit to using it in real life. That weekend, I wake up without an alarm. It feels strange in the best way. Like my body finally gets to set the schedule. I stretch. Check the light coming through the curtains. And for a moment, I just stay still. No rushing. No immediate agenda. Just quiet. Then my phone buzzes with a message. Maya. Brunch, at 11. Don't be late. Double T. I smile and type back. I'll be there. And I'm not making any promises about being fully awake. Rose. Not making any promises. That's a natural way to be honest without sounding negative. I get ready slowly. I pick clothes that feel comfortable. Not presentable. I'm not going to a board meeting. I'm going to brunch with friends. I grab my keys and head out. At the restaurant, it's packed. The kind of packed where you can tell the kitchen is fighting for its life. A host stands at the entrance with a tablet and a polite smile that looks slightly exhausted. Hi, I say. Table for 4. We should be under Maya. Make scene midis. The host scrolls. I see it. It'll be about 20 minutes. In 22. Maya is already there. Arms crossed, like she's been waiting all day. Even though I'm right on time. You're late, she says. I'm literally not, I say. Looking at my phone. It's 10:59. If corsoned in mess bus. Maya laughs. Okay. Fine. You're not late. I'm just dramatic. Dian stew way. Jordan and Aisha arrive a minute later. And the 4 of us stand near the entrance, shifting around as other people squeeze past. Aisha sighs. This place is chaotic. Thanks for watching. Jordan looks around. It's always like this. It's popular for a reason. End quote. We get seated. And the waiter comes over with water. Can I start you off with anything to drink? He asks. Maya says, coffee. Immediately. Jordan says, same. End quote. I platers raid. Aisha says, I'll do tea. Now. The waiter looks at me. I pause. I'm tired. But I don't want more caffeine. I also don't want to sound complicated. Can I get sparkling water? I ask. And if you have orange juice? That'd be great. It's Sealer's way. The waiter nods. Absolutely. Now, while we wait, the conversation starts easy and then turns real. Jordan leans back and says, I've been thinking about something. Anything? I will disco. Maya raises an eyebrow. That's always dangerous. Two. Jordan smirks. I think we're all too obsessed with being productive. 80. Aisha. nods immediately. Yes, people treat rest like a reward, not a requirement. Everyone, I agree. But I want to add nuance. I think it's deeper than productivity. I say, it's control. When life feels uncertain, being busy feels like control. End quote. Maya looks at me. Wow, that was accurate. It's 7 times of. I shrug. I'm not proud of it. I'm just recognizing it. If 2 was. Recognizing it. That phrase is useful when you're acknowledging something without being dramatic. The waiter returns. And as he sets down the drinks, he accidentally spills a little water near Aisha's phone. Not a lot, but enough to make everyone tense for a second. Aisha moves her phone quickly. The waiter freezes. Eyes wide. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. It's number 1. This is another social moment. Everyone's watching Aisha's reaction. Aisha could escalate it. Or she could de-escalate it. She chooses grace. It's okay, she says calmly. No harm done. Thank you for being careful. The waiter looks relieved. Thank you. I'll grab some napkins. It's Sen does. When he leaves, Maya whispers. That was so polite. It stayed sheer and Dal says. Aisha smiles. I've worked in food service. I'm not trying to ruin someone's day. End quote. Not trying to ruin someone's day. That's empathy. In one sentence. Now Jordan says. Speaking of politeness, I need advice. Atizu. We all look at him. He clears his throat. My neighbor keeps parking in my spot. In way. 2. Maya laughs. Oh no, here we go. It not to Zetter. Jordan continues. I don't want to start a war, but I'm getting annoyed. In faced with. This is a perfect advanced conversation practice. How to address conflict politely but firmly. I lean in slightly. Okay, first question. I say, have you talked to them directly? Jordan shakes his head. No, I've just been silently mad. It's 7 plays. Silently mad. Everyone laughs, because it's real. Aisha says, you can't solve a problem you haven't named. And who was? Then Maya adds, but don't go in hot. One formant data. I nod. Exactly. You want to sound calm. Not accusatory. End quote. Then I give Jordan a practical script. The kind you can actually use. Hey. Quick question. I say. Have you been parking in spot 12? That one's assigned to me. I'm not sure if there's been a mix-up, but I've had trouble finding parking. When side of the willing to the drive. That language is doing a lot. Quick question softens the start. Assigned to me states the fact. Mix-up gives them a graceful exit. Trouble finding parking explains impact without attacking. Jordan listens and nods. That's good. It doesn't sound aggressive. Windshed. Aisha adds. And if they deny it, just stay calm. Say, okay. Maybe it was someone else. If it happens again, I'll leave a note with my number. Is that? Maya smiles. Or just tow them. It's shames of fires. To unnust. Aisha and I both look at Maya. Maya raises her hands. Kidding. Mostly. No stay. The conversation shifts again. And this time, it gets a bit more personal. Jordan asks me, so, are you actually good at setting boundaries now? I laugh. I'm better. Not perfect. It's cleave that. Jordan tilts his head. What changed? I think for a second. I realized my yes was making my life smaller. I say, when I say yes to everything, I say no to rest. No to relationships. No to myself. One close. Maya nods slowly. That's real. Two's off. Aisha says. That's the kind of honesty people avoid. It's so. And it is. But it's also what makes language feel alive. After brunch, we split up. On the way home, I stop by a bookstore. I'm not looking for anything specific. I just want to wander. At the counter, I buy a book, and the cashier says, "Do you want to sign up for our membership? You'll get discounts." Nose climbs. I don't want to. But I also don't want to sound rude. Here's the polite decline. "Not today, but thank you." I say, "Not today, but thank you." Clean, friendly, no awkward explanation. The cashier smiles. "No worries, Atid." As I leave, my phone buzzes again. It's Omar. "Are you free? I need to vent." It's Gentu, sane. I pause. I can talk. But I don't want to absorb a heavy conversation right now. This is where boundaries become real. I type. I can listen for 10 minutes. But I might not have the bandwidth for a deep dive today. Is that okay? Bandwidth. Deep dive. Those phrases are natural and clear. They're not cold. They're honest. Omar replies, "Yeah, 10 minutes is fine. It is a fine taste. We call." And Omar starts talking about a family issue. I listen. Ask a few questions. Validate his feelings. But I don't try to fix everything. That's another advanced skill. Supportive language without taking responsibility for someone else's life. "I'm sorry you're dealing with that." I say. "That sounds exhausting." I climbs eyes. Sounds exhausting. Simple. Empathetic. Omar sighs. "It is." In down. I say, "Do you want advice? Or, do you just want me to listen?" That question is gold. It prevents misunderstandings. It respects the other person. Omar says, "Just listen. Ren serve it is." Okay. I say, "I'm here, Chacher." When the 10 minutes are up, I keep my promise. I don't vanish abruptly. But I exit politely. "I'm really glad you called." I say, "I need to step away now and recharge." "But I'm here for you. Can we check in tomorrow?" Omar says, "Yeah, thanks, Inisa." When I hang up, I feel proud in a quiet way. Not because I was perfect, but because I was honest and kind. That's fluency too. Now, if you want to practice with me, repeat one boundary line out loud. "I don't have the bandwidth for a deep dive today." "Not today, but thank you." Or, "Do you want advice? Or do you want me to listen?" Choose one you'll actually use. And in the next part, we'll move into higher level C1 conversation, negotiating, persuading politely, and telling a story that holds attention without rambling. Monday morning comes fast. I'm back at my desk, coffee in hand, trying to ease into the week without letting it swallow me. My inbox loads, and I feel that familiar urge to attack everything at once. I don't. I scan for what's urgent, what's important, and what can wait. Then Daniel pings me. "Got a minute?" I walk over to his desk. He looks calm, but I can tell he's about to ask for something. "We've got a request from leadership," he says. "They want a mini demo by Thursday. Nothing fancy, just enough to show progress. Daka visis. Thursday. That's tight." I keep my face neutral. "Okay. What's the goal of the demo?" Daniel answers. "Reassurance. They want to see that Phase 2 is on track. It doesn't ferry 7." I nod. "Got it. Who's the audience?" "2 directors and a couple stakeholders," he says. "They'll ask questions. You know the type." Intonited. I do know the type. Smart, busy, and impatient with vague answers. "Okay," I say. I can help. But I want to be realistic about scope. What do they need to see? Specifically? Daniel leans back. A working flow. Some numbers. Enough to feel tangible. End quote. This is where negotiation starts. Not with no. With clarification. All right. I say. Here's my concern. If we rush a demo that tries to show everything, it could distract from what actually matters. What if we agree on a narrow demo? One core flow end to end, plus a simple progress checklist for everything else. Daniel thinks for a second. They might push for more. It's noted. They might, I say. So we frame it as intentional. We're demonstrating the most critical user path and providing visibility into the rest. That gives them confidence without us overextending. End quote. Daniel nods slowly. That's reasonable. It's not. Then I add something important. Also, I want to make sure we're not stealing time from delivery. If we do this, we need to protect the build. Daniel smiles slightly. So what are you asking for? This is the moment people often get vague. Don't. I'd like two things. I say, first, a clear definition of what's in the demo. In writing, by today. Second, one engineer dedicated to supporting the demo build for 2 days. Otherwise, it becomes everyone's problem. And it falls apart. Buddy won. Daniel doesn't flinch. He respects specificity. Okay, he says. I can do that. Who do you want? Kevin. I say. He's skeptical. But he's fast. And he'll catch what others miss. It's tacked. Daniel nods. Done. I'll assign him. Weld in their videos. That's negotiation. Clear. Ask. Clear rationale. Calm tone. As I walk back to my desk, Maya passes me and whispers, "Did you just negotiate resources?" I smile. I tried. I'm bidwithing. Maya says, "Good. People think negotiation is confrontation. It's just alignment. 18 day. Alignment. Exactly." Later, Kevin joins me for a quick planning session. He sits down with that familiar half-smile. "So," he says, "we're building a demo to make people feel better," Duar says. I laugh. That's one way to put it. Kevin opens his laptop. What do we need to show? I keep it structured. One flow end to end. One clear metric. And a simple status slide. Nothing extra. APS. Kevin nods. So we're not faking progress. They work. No. I say. We're showing reality in the best light. There's a difference. Byerly and Kane into the twos. We build a plan fast. Then Kevin says, "What if leadership asks for the reporting add-on that we deferred?" They will. I say, so we preempt it. How? He asks. We say, that item is scoped for Phase 2. Here's the date. Here's the milestone. And here's what's already done. Then we stop talking. In a comblend. Kevin grins. Stop talking. Bold strategy. End quote. It's not bold. I say, it's discipline. The more you fill space, the more you create risk. In main dime. That afternoon, I have a different kind of conversation. A friend texts me, "Can you help me negotiate my salary?" I'm terrified. This is real life. This is where language can change outcomes. We hop on a call. And I ask, "Okay, what's the situation?" She explains she got an offer. But it's lower than expected. She wants more. But she doesn't want to seem ungrateful. I say, "First, you can be grateful and still negotiate. Those can exist together." WTIC says. She exhales. I don't know what to say. It's sitting time as dua. So, I give her a simple structure. Start with appreciation, I say. Then, state your request. Then give a reason. Then ask a question. Bizes. She repeats. Appreciation. Request. Reason. Question. And fav like. Yes. I say. Here's the wording. Is logs on. I'm excited about the role. And I appreciate the offer. Based on my experience and the market range, I was hoping we could get closer to X. Is there flexibility in the base salary? Or could we explore a signing bonus? That sentence is calm, professional, and direct. It doesn't beg. It doesn't threaten. It invites a conversation. She says, that sounds doable, end quote. It is. I say, and if they say no, you don't collapse. You ask, what's the path to that number? What would you need to see from me? A path to that number. That phrase turns a wall into a door. After the call, I go back to work, and the day stays busy, but not chaotic. Then, in the evening, I meet someone for dinner. They ask me, casually, how was your week? This is where storytelling matters. If you ramble, people tune out. If you speak with shape, people lean in. I don't list events. I tell one story with a point. It was intense, I say. But there was one moment that really summed it up. Wet owls. They look interested. Good. Now I keep it tight. We had a vendor delay that could have derailed the launch. I say, the client was nervous. Leadership wanted certainty. And the team was stretched. So we had to choose between pushing everything through fast or protecting quality. If you are sentient, I pause. Just a beat. Then I continue. The client said something that stuck with me. She said, I don't need perfection. I just need visibility. And honestly, that shifted the whole conversation. Once we focused on visibility, not perfection, everything got calmer. We made a clean plan, communicated it, and the pressure dropped. Anne says, I stop there. I don't keep adding side details. I let the point land. My friend nods. That's actually a good lesson. Interest in a clip. It is. I say. And it applies to everything. People can handle bad news. They just hate surprises. It's left dough. People hate surprises. Short, true, memorable. Then my friend asks, so how do you stay calm in those conversations? I'm honest. I don't always feel calm. I say, I just try to speak calmly. The feeling catches up later. It's find led her stools. That's a persuasive truth. It's reassuring because it's real. Now, if you're practicing with me, repeat one negotiation line out loud. Clearly. Once. What would it take for you to feel comfortable with this? Is there flexibility on that? Can we meet in the middle? Or, what's the path to that number? Pick the one that fits your life. And if you want to lock it in, leave a comment with the phrase you chose and the situation you'll use it in. Keep it simple. One sentence is enough. By Wednesday afternoon, the demo is starting to feel real. Not, we'll figure it out. Real. Real. The kind where you can see the time on the calendar, and it's not negotiable. Kevin sends me a message. Flow works. Mostly. One edge case still breaks. If you HBO. Which one? I ask. The user refreshes mid-step. He says, it resets. In 12 tonight. I close my eyes for half a second. Not because it's a disaster, but because I can already hear a director doing that exact thing on the demo call. Okay, I say, can we guard it? Even if we don't fully fix it. Can we prevent the reset? Kevin replies, I can add a warning and a save state. Gauze. Do that, I say. And, in the demo, we avoid refreshing. We control the path. As no men. You'll notice something here. Professionals don't rely on luck in a demo. They control variables. That evening, I block out 30 minutes to rehearse. Not perform. Rehearse. I open my notes and write the structure in plain language. 1. Headline. 2. What you're seeing. 3. Why it matters. 4. What's next. 5. Where we need help, if any. I practice the opening out loud, because the first 30 seconds sets the tone. Thanks for making time today. I'll keep this tight. The headline is, Phase 2 is on track. And today we're showing the most critical user flow end to end. After the demo, I'll walk through what's done, what's in progress, and what we're watching. And K, the headline is, I'll keep this tight. These are executive phrases. They signal respect for time. I also prepare for the tough questions. Not every possible question, just the predictable ones. What's the risk? What could slip? What are you doing about it? When do we know for sure? What do you need from us? On Thursday morning, I show up early, not because I love mornings, but because I refuse to start this day in a rush. I review the demo environment, open only the tabs I need, and close everything else. I even silence notifications. There's nothing worse than a message popping up mid-demo. Maya stops by with her laptop. Ready? As ready as I'm going to be, I say. She glances at my notes. Good. You've got a narrative. Every priest. That's the goal. I say. If it's just screens, they'll get bored or suspicious. I weigh. Kevin appears behind us like a skeptical ghost. Reminder. Do not click that button in step 3. No verse. I look at him. I wasn't planning today. It is a longen pada please have ged. He points again. Still, don't. If you would. Maya smiles. Love the confidence. Ein fav? When it's time, we join the call. Daniel introduces us. 2 directors are on, Claire and Marcus. Both sound friendly, but their questions will be sharp. They don't have time for fluff. Daniel says, Thanks everyone. We'll keep this short. I'll hand it to, and then he says my name. I lean slightly closer to the mic and begin. Calm and clear. Thanks. Claire. Thanks. Marcus. I'll keep this tight. The headline is, Phase 2 remains on track. And today we're showing the critical user path end to end so you can see real progress, not slides. I pause. Just a beat. Then I continue. As I walk through this, I'll call out what's already complete, what's in progress, and what's next. And if you want to go deeper on any section, just jump in. It's stand afraid. Just jump in. That's a confident invitation. It says, I'm not afraid of questions. I start the demo. The flow works. The page loads smoothly. I speak while I click. But I don't narrate every tiny action like a tour guide. I focus on meaning. Here's the entry point. The user selects the option, confirms the parameters, and the system validates in real time. The key change from last week is this validation step. It prevents errors downstream. In 12 phase, Claire asks, What happens if the user enters something invalid? I don't over-explain. I show it. Great question. I say. Here's the guardrail. We don't let them proceed. We give a clear prompt and a fixed path. 8.5 as RALD. Marcus says, How confident are you in stability? This is where many people either get defensive or get vague. I do neither. We're confident in the core flow. I say, the main stability risk is still external dependency timing, not the internal path you're seeing here. Internally, we're reducing risk by testing the core path daily and logging edge cases as they come in. Digma says they have us. He follows up. What's your biggest unknown right now? I answer honestly. In one sentence first. The biggest unknown is vendor delivery timing for one component. I say. And we'll have confirmation by tomorrow afternoon. Insist. Short. Specific. No drama. Claire asks. If the vendor slips again, what's the plan? I use the same calm decision language. If they slip again, I say. We keep the launch stable by sequencing the remaining item. We don't compress testing to chase a perfect scope. I know to scream. Then I bridge to reassurance. The important thing is this. We're protecting the delivery date and the quality bar. We're not gambling. 1-2 said. Protecting, quality bar, not gambling. That sounds like leadership. Near the end, Marcus asks for numbers. What's the completion percentage? I don't pretend. I also don't panic. I don't want to guess. I say, what I can tell you precisely is this. The core flow is functional end to end. The top 3 risks are identified. And we have milestones for the remaining work. If you want a percentage, I can follow up today with a breakdown by component. It's no dev. I don't want to guess. I can follow up today. Those phrases protect credibility. Claire says. That's fine. Send the breakdown. It's Meiju here. Then Daniel wraps up. Thanks. Everyone, we'll share the summary and next steps by end of day. The no-sos, and Kane do fate of Valpers in her do face. When the call ends, I exhale like I've been holding air since breakfast. Maya smiles. That was clean. Go dust. Kevin says. You didn't click the button. It CMOS 2 says. I nod. I did not click the button. End quote. Then Daniel messages. Nice job. They're reassured. Impon. Reassured. That was the goal from the beginning. Later in the afternoon, I run into Aisha near the kitchen. She says, I heard the demo went well. As. It did. I say, but I'm realizing something. It not actions. What? She asks. Persuasion isn't about sounding confident. I say, it's about sounding specific. Eight have raver. Aisha nods. Yes, specific is calming. You do goes. That line sticks with me. Specific is calming. If you want to sound fluent at C1, you don't need bigger vocabulary. You need clearer thinking and cleaner phrasing. On my walk home, I replay a few of the phrases that made the demo smooth. I'll keep this tight. But most at 2, the headline is, Great question. Do raft be end? I don't want to guess. End quote. Intact of the 9. I can follow up today. Inder way. The key changes. The main risk is. If you're practicing with me right now, choose one of those and say it once out loud. Like you're in that call. Then drop it in the comments with the situation you'd use it in. Work. School. Or daily life. One sentence is enough. And next, we'll move into one final skill that ties everything together. How to sound confident without sounding arrogant. How to be direct, warm, and clear at the same time. Even when you're tired. After the demo, the week settles down. But not completely. That's how life works. One fire gets put out. And then a smaller one starts smoking in the corner. Nothing dramatic. Just the daily reality of being human and trying to communicate well. On Friday, I'm in a meeting with a new teammate. Her name is Elise. She's smart, quick, and clearly trying to make a good impression. I can see it in the way she nods a little too fast and takes notes like her life depends on it. Daniel introduces her. Elise just joined the team. She'll be supporting Phase 2. And closed of 30. Elise smiles. Hi everyone. Excited to work with you. It's some days of they. Maya says. Welcome. We'll try not to scare you. There is no way. Elise laughs politely. I'm sure it's fine. End quote. But I notice something. When people say, I'm sure it's fine, with that tone, they're not sure. They're hoping. After the meeting, Elise walks over to my desk. Hey, do you have a second? Sure, I say. What's up? She hesitates. I'm trying to understand the context. And I don't want to ask a dumb question. Action. This is where confidence and warmth matter. If I respond wrong, she'll stop asking questions. And when people stop asking questions, mistakes multiply. So I say something simple and kind. There are no dumb questions. I say, and even if there were, this wouldn't be one. What are you trying to figure out? Elise exhales. Relieved. Okay. I keep hearing Phase 2. But I'm not clear on what got deferred and why. It's stubbly so. Good question, I say. And you're right to ask. It's so very for. I pull up the timeline and explain it in plain English. Not jargon. We had a vendor slip, I say, to protect launch stability. We moved one non-critical component into Phase 2. The idea wasn't to cut quality. It was to avoid rushing testing. And close. Elise nods slowly. So Phase 2 is basically the rest of the scope? Not all of it, I say. Just one piece. And we're treating it like a real commitment. Not a someday. Body in fanches. She looks at me. Okay, that makes sense. It's tree 6 ben. Then she says, Can I be honest? I meet her eyes. Please. It's Deda. She lowers her voice. I'm nervous. I don't want to mess up. In action. Now, we're in that space where you can either give a shallow motivational line or something that actually helps. I choose something practical. You're going to mess up at some point. I say calmly. Everyone does. The goal isn't 0 mistakes. The goal is fast correction and clear communication. Fast correction, clear communication. That's the theme again. Elise smiles a little, like she's letting herself breathe. That's actually reassuring. Reveport in the manner spode. I add. Also, if you're unsure, ask early. Don't wait until the last minute, hoping it'll magically become clear. Dazed. She nods. Got it. Domitier too. That's confidence without arrogance. You're direct. But you're not harsh. You're honest. But you're not cold. Later that day, I have a different kind of conversation. A friend calls me and says, You always sound so calm. How do you do that? I laugh. Because it's not fully true. I don't always feel calm. I say. I just try not to outsource my emotions to other people. If you will did. Outsource my emotions. That's an advanced way to say, I don't dump my stress on others and make it their problem. My friend says. What does that mean? It means, I say, I can be stressed and still speak respectfully. I can be tired and still be clear. I don't have to make my mood someone else's burden. I have to bud. That's the skill. It's adult communication. That evening, I'm at the grocery store, and I run into someone I haven't seen in a long time. His name is Ryan. We used to work together, but we lost touch. He looks surprised. Hey, he says. Wow, It's been a minute. Okay. It has. I say, how have you been? Ryan shrugs. Busy. You know how it is. End quote. I do. I say, what are you up to these days? He tells me about his new job. And then he says, I heard you moved up. Congrats. Dade Irend. This is another moment. If I act too humble, it sounds fake. If I act too proud, it sounds arrogant. The goal is confident and warm. Thanks. I say, yeah. It's been a learning curve, but I'm enjoying it. The veriste, learning curve, that phrase acknowledges challenge without complaining. Ryan nods. You always seemed like you had it together. Don't 10. I smile. That's generous. I'm more organized than I used to be. That's all. It was faction. Organized than I used to be. That's honest confidence. Ryan then asks something slightly uncomfortable. So, what do you make now? Money questions can be awkward. You can answer directly, or you can set a boundary without making it weird. I choose a boundary. I keep my salary private. I say, still friendly. But I'm happy to talk about how I negotiated if that helps. End quote. That's a strong line. It protects you. And it offers value. Ryan laughs. Fair. Yeah. Actually. Negotiation tips would be great. Guys works. So, I give him one simple, practical tip. Lead with enthusiasm. I say, then ask for what you want. And then stop talking. Insist. Stop talking again. It keeps coming up because it works. Ryan nods. I always talk too much. Thanks for watching. Most people do. I say, silence feels awkward. But it's powerful. It's something bitted. When I get home, I think about the skill I practiced today, sounding confident without sounding arrogant, being direct without being rude, and being warm without being vague. Here are a few C1 phrases that help you do that. I want to be respectful of your time, and close on the code array, just to set expectations. I'm happy to help, but I'd prefer to keep that private. End quote. I can share the process, even if I don't share the number. It's so. That's a fair question. I can see why you'd ask. I have no. And distorted. Now, pick one and repeat it once out loud. Calmly. Then keep listening. In the next and final part, we'll close the story in a natural way. And I'll give you a short review you can use to practice for the next week without feeling overwhelmed. That night, after I get home from the grocery store, I don't collapse straight into my phone. I set the bag down, wash my hands, and stand in the kitchen for a second, like I'm letting the day finish loading. I think about Elise, and how quickly anxiety shows up when you're new. I think about Ryan, and how one awkward question can turn a normal conversation into something tense if you don't handle it cleanly. And I think about you listening right now, trying to sound fluent, not just in perfect situations, but in real ones. Because real fluency is messy. It's not a performance. It's control. It's warmth. It's recovery. It's knowing what to say when your brain blanks, or when someone puts you on the spot. I make tea and sit down at the table. The apartment is quiet. And for once, my thoughts are quiet too. Not because I have no problems, but because I'm not wrestling them. I say, softly, okay, let's review. If. Not a school review, a real review, the kind that makes your next week easier. Here's the first thing I want you to practice. Opening lines. The first 10 seconds of a conversation set the tone. If your opening is clear, the rest feels easier. Try these out loud. Slowly, first. Then, at normal speed. Thanks for making time. End quote. I'll keep this short. In who would backard? In this note, quick question. It is no trovs. Just to set expectations. Before we jump in, here's the headline. In 7. Now notice the feeling. These lines don't sound dramatic. They sound calm and capable. That's the goal. Next, practice clarification. This is how you avoid misunderstandings without sounding confused. Just to make sure I'm following. When you say that, do you mean X or Y? Can you clarify one thing? Let me repeat that back to you. Don't first it of it. So what I'm hearing is, these phrases are powerful because they slow the conversation down in a polite way. They buy you time and protect accuracy. Now, practice disagreement. This is where a lot of people either get too soft and disappear, or get too sharp and damage trust. You want the middle path. Firm and respectful. I see your point. Wait, Phil, grade. I get why you'd say that. Bo, I agree in principle. But my concern is, can I offer a middle ground? I'm not fully convinced yet. Help me understand. Let me push back gently on one thing. Doll to. Push back gently. That one line can change your entire tone. Next. Practice persuasion. Persuasion isn't pressure. It's clarity plus rationale. Here's the trade-off. Anuzis. What we're optimizing for is, the risk is, the reason I'm recommending this is, if we do X, we gain Y, but we lose Z. It's SUV. My recommendation is, and the backup plan is, when you use these phrases, you sound like someone who thinks clearly, not someone who's trying to win. Now, practice recovery. This is one of the most C1 skills you can build, because mistakes are guaranteed. Recovery keeps your confidence intact. Let me rephrase. Infected. Let me say that more clearly. No. Quick correction. The and she a. That came out wrong. What I meant was, sorry. Go ahead. I cut you off. End quote. Give me a second. I'm collecting my thoughts. Asus. So. Collecting my thoughts. That phrase is calm. It doesn't apologize for being human. Now, practice boundaries. Boundaries are not rude when they're clear and kind. I can do 10 minutes. But I'm low energy. To Maeve instead. I don't have the bandwidth for a deep dive today. End quote. I'm offline tonight. Can we talk tomorrow? I'd prefer to keep that private. It's load. I'm happy to help. But I can't take that on right now. End quote. Notice how none of these are angry. They're just honest. Honest is fluent. Now I want you to do something that makes a huge difference for listening and speaking. A short shadowing routine. Don't overcomplicate it. Do it like this. For the next 7 days. Day 1. Pick 5 lines you actually like from today. Repeat each line 3 times. Slow. Normal. Then, natural speed. Day 2. Practice only opening lines. Record yourself for 30 seconds. Listen once. Adjust once. Stop. Day 3. Practice disagreement lines. Say them with a calm tone, not a debate tone. Day 4. Practice recovery lines. Pretend you forgot a word. Then recover, using, let me rephrase. Maybe 7 today. Day 5. Practice clarification lines. Ask questions out loud, like you're in a meeting. Day 6. Practice boundaries. Say them kindly, with a small smile in your voice. Day 7. Tell one short story with a point. No rambling. One setup. One moment. One lesson. If you do that, you'll feel the difference in a week. Not because your vocabulary doubled, but because your control improved. And here's the secret that ties everything together. Tone does half the work. You can say the perfect words, but if your tone is defensive, it won't land. You can say simple words, but if your tone is calm, people trust you. So when you practice, don't just repeat the words, repeat the attitude. Calm, clear, warm, direct. Before we finish, I want you to choose one line to carry into your real life today. Not 5. 1. Maybe it's, let me rephrase, date id. Maybe it's, just to set expectations. Maybe it's, I get why it might have felt that way. In C's, do wid. Maybe it's, I'd prefer to keep that private. End quote. Maybe it's, here's the trade-off. 2. Come into, talk to there. Pick one. Say it once out loud. Then, write it in the comments with the situation you'll use it in. Work, school, family, friends. One sentence is enough. And if you stayed with me to the end, thank you. That tells me you're serious about your fluency. Not just your English. If you want more 1-hour C1 listening like this, tap like, subscribe, and tell me what you want next. Workplace conversations, social confidence, travel problem solving, or advanced small talk that doesn't feel fake. All right, take a breath. You did the work today. And tomorrow, you start again, calm and clear.